That's the inexorable rift in the interdependent process of social metabolism. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a Colt rifle today, and I'm pretty excited about this. Well, it's a Colt with an asterisk. It is a Colt rifle. It's marked Colt on the lower receiver, so it's a Colt, but it doesn't have all original Colt parts. This is a Colt lower receiver. The pistol grip, though, is not something that came from Colt. It looks like a Hogue. No big deal there. The upper receiver is marked with a C. It's marked CMB, so I'm pretty sure that's Colt. And given the fact that the upper and lower match so well in terms of finish and so on, I'm quite sure we have Colt parts here. We have a Colt barrel. It's marked Colt. It's marked CMP 5.56 NATO 1 in 7. So that's a proper Colt marked barrel with a 1 in 7 twist. This is Magpul. Handguards are Magpul. Okay, no big deal. They've been replaced. Our buttstock slider is a Magpul. The buffer in here is a standard carbine buffer. It's not a heavy buffer. But back when Colt was making these, because this is a reasonably old Colt. Get a look at the markings here. This is a fairly old Colt. I mean, the receiver's gray instead of black. So back when they were making these, they would just put in a standard carbine weight buffer and not a heavy buffer. We have A2 rear sight. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. It's a curious blend of A2 and A1 parts. But most of this is Colt. The bolt and carrier, I couldn't see any markings on them, but because the carrier is cut all the way back, I'm pretty sure that's a Colt carrier. I think we have a Colt bolt and carrier here because that's the way they like to do them, to preclude any putting in an auto sear. This piece, I don't even know what you call this, where we can attach a single point sling. This piece at the rear of the receiver is a Magpul. Sadly, somebody has replaced the buffer tube. There's no way that's an original Colt buffer tube. I don't believe it. And I would say we have no staking on the castle nut, except I can't even call that a castle nut because it doesn't have the little crenellations. It doesn't have the cutouts to be a castle nut. It's a nut, and it's been tightened on there, but how, I don't know. But yeah, this isn't a proper Colt buffer tube, and this bunch of junk is not Colt. I don't know how they tighten this. I don't know what's holding it on. It's not staked. Maybe they put some red Loctite on it, which can be okay, but that's not really the correct way of doing it. I don't like that. I think somebody, I won't say ruined this rifle, but someone adulterated this rifle by swapping out some parts. The handguards are not that big a deal, but some of this stuff at the rear really bothers me. I do want to thank Robert for making this available. I don't want to knock his rifle too much, but I do want to thank Robert for making this available for us to test. Okay, so I was talking about a curious blend of A1 and A2 parts here. We have an A2 carry handle and A2 rear sight. Brass deflector, we have an A2 style forward assist. So a lot of this is stuff you would see on an A1 rifle, but a lot of it's A2. Oh, you may note, this is back when Colt was holding on this front pin is not actually a pin, it's screwed in, it's two-piece. Colt used to like to do them that way for a number of reasons. We don't have to get into it, but Colt likes to be weird. We have an A2 style fixed front sight housing. This is an A2 style front sight. It's squared off. It's got a square cross section. 1 in 7 twist like an A2, but it's a pencil barrel like an A1. And the flash suppressor is an A1 style flash suppressor. There are no, excuse me, it's an A2 style flash suppressor. There are no cuts on the bottom. So a blend of A1 and A2 features there. We have a short carbine length gas system, which is fine. Yeah, so this was made in the A2 era. It still has some A1s. I guess the big thing is the skinny barrel. That's the big thing that makes it sort of like an A1. But yeah, it's a lightweight rifle, simple. I like rifles like this. I know it doesn't have a flat top. It can't mount optics easily, but I'm happy with iron sights. I enjoy rifles like this. I enjoy pencil barrels. This is just my kind of jam. And I know it's not for everybody. It's not as practical as maybe some other rifles, but I like it. I don't like what's been done back here, but you know, what are you going to do? Most of the parts that matter seem to be Colt parts and seems to be Colt workmanship. And I don't know what to expect. Is the buffer and buffer tube, is that going to compromise reliability? Probably not. It'll probably be fine. Yes, going with a buffer that's too light can compromise reliability, and if things aren't staked correctly, that can compromise reliability. But for the most part, I expect good results. We just have a lightweight, handy rifle. It's easy to carry, easy to manage. I don't even mind the Hogue grip. It's not my favorite kind of grip. I prefer just an A1 grip, but it feels good. It's got finger grooves that actually fit my fingers. So We're gonna shoot this at 30 yards and make sure we're on the paper, and then probably go out to 100 and just see how she does. Yeah, this little dangly down single pointed sling attachment is kind of getting in my way. I mean, it's not a big problem, it's just annoying. All right, guys, I've got a target out there at 30 yards. I'm shooting across that bench, which is not always the best idea, but if I shoot from that bench, the sun's gonna be in my eyes, I won't be able to see the target. So I've had to move back a little. Shooting from about 30 yards, I'm shooting off a rest to take out as much of me out of the equation as possible. As always, I don't shoot a rifle that well, so I'm gonna do my best, but I wanna test the rifle more than I wanna test me, because I already know that I'm terrible. The ammo we're shooting today is 62 grain, green tip penetrator. It's Lake City, stamp 2019. This rifle with its 1 in 7 twist should shoot it just fine. That stuff is not known for great accuracy, so even if a really competent shooter was shooting this, I wouldn't expect great groups. But let's put 5 rounds on the target, see what happens. For my rest, of course, I'm using the Magical Princess Unicorn backpack and the Renaissance Princess cloak that Boom Gal wears when she wants to be a princess.
Yeah, the gold side is for princess, and then when you're undercover and you have to sneak out of the castle, it's reversible, so you got the red on the outside.
That's good to know. Our hits in no particular order are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a decent group. That's, what, 1 1/4 inches, which for me is, at 30 yards, is good. I figured the rifle's capable of about 3 minutes of angle with that ammo. So at 30 yards, something like 8/10 of an inch. So only about a 1/2 inch of what you're seeing there is actually my terrible shooting. That's a pretty good group. It's reasonably centered left to right. It's very low, of course. This is our point of aim, but of course we would expect that with a mechanical offset. We have very tall sights, so at this range, we would expect it to shoot low. All right, we've got a shoot and see target out there at 100 yards. Shooting off the Magical Princess Unicorn backpack again. And let's just see what happens.
So where did number 5 go?
In that piece of tape.
Oh, I see.
So we do have 5 hits on the target, a decent group. I'm gonna call that about a 6-inch group, which for me is pretty good. It is low. Now, we wouldn't expect it to shoot exactly to point of aim at 100 yards, but that is lower than it probably should be. Probably the sights need to come up just a little bit. I don't have a sight adjustment tool with me, but I mean, at least we're on the paper. All right, let's try a few more, since we know we're on the paper. Let's go have a look. All right, well, I'm counting 9 holes in the paper. There is a tear down at the bottom that could be another bullet hole. I can't tell, or maybe I got 2 through 1 hole. I may be off the paper at the bottom with one of those. But again, we have a group that is basically centered left to right. It's a little left of center, and of course it's quite low. And I don't know, that's probably 7 inches, maybe 8 inches across. So it's not terrific, but you know, it's what I can do. All right, so what can we conclude? The rifle seems to run perfectly. It's very reliable. This slider was twisted. The whole buffer tube was twisted because that sucker is not really properly secured. It didn't keep this thing from running reliably, but yeah. Number one, whoever owns this rifle is going to need to look out for that. Number two, he really needs to correct that problem. He needs to find some way to secure that castle nut. I can only call it castle nut, even though I guess it really isn't. He's got to find some way to secure that nut or replace it, because this thing wants to twist. It's not so good. Everything from here back is suspect. I mean, the Magpul slider's fine. It's a Magpul, but like the workmanship here is not so good. Everything from here forward seems to be fine. It's Colt. Colt receivers and Colt barrel and Colt bolts and bolt carrier. Everything seems to be working just fine. I was shooting that FN earlier, which is also a carbine, has a heavier barrel. My impression is that this one kicks less. Even with that carbine length gas system, which supposedly gives you all that harsh recoil, this has a lighter carrier, this has a lighter buffer, this is lighter overall because of the lighter barrel, and yet this gives me less felt recoil. I got less of an impression of recoil from this. I think the FN is just overgassed. It happens. And you know, I mean, overgassed is better than undergassed, but still, the recoil on that FN was a little bit harsh. It's not painful, it's not objectionable, it's just 223, but this one was just more pleasant to shoot. It was a smoother shooting, experience, and I preferred it. Just, this is the part that bothers me. That somebody's gonna have to fix that. But yeah, we got a good rifle here. Very tight fit between upper and lower. It's got an AccuWedge and it's got a little rubber wedge in there to keep everything tight in. Boy, is it tight. This thing was hard to get apart. But yeah, if you are just looking for a plain Jane, reliable carbine, this one's reliable. Accurate, I mean, shoots as well as I can shoot it, which is not saying much. But it performs the way I expect a Colt to perform. I enjoy shooting. I really love these old school carbines with the carry handles. Not everybody likes them. Yes, I know a flat top is more practical, an optic is more practical. There's just something I love about them. Even though they're not practical, maybe it'll get me killed in a gunfight someday because I don't have an optic, but whatever. I just dig these. They're my kind of thing. They're my aesthetic. But yeah, this is, to my mind, kind of everything you need and nothing, well, except for the castle nut. Everything you need and nothing you don't. This is my kind of thing. Light, handy rifle, just simple. I really enjoy this. I enjoyed shooting and enjoyed bringing it to you. Guys, if this is your sort of thing, and if you can find one, these old Colts are not super common anymore, and often they bring big money, even when they've been adulterated like this. But if you can get one, and if you can find one at a good price, I think you'll enjoy it as much as I did. Guys, until next time, keep your powder dry.
And always take your castle nut.
Yes.